A. Smith Show starts right now.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do every weekday over the airwaves of ESPN Radio, ESPN News, 250 plus markets across the United States of America. Check your AM, FM listing nearest you, plus ESPN Radio on Sirius XM, Channel 80, plus ESPN Radio simulcast over the live national television airwaves of ESPN News. Number to call up as always is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. The Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, making it easy to bundle your home and your car insurance. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Let me start off the show by saying this. Cam Newton is not finished. Let me say it again. Cam Newton is not finished. But damn, does it look that way? Looks like he's inching close to that. Carolina Panthers lost another game last night. Cam Newton, 24 of 50, 324 yards. That's a less than 50% completion percentage. Finished with a quarterback rating of 69 for the evening. He was not that impressive at all. Matter of fact, he got outplayed by Jameis Winston, who completed 16 to 25 passes for just 208 yards. The fact of the matter is that we can sit up here and we can point to the last play with a little over a minute left on a 4th and 1 spot. And instead of giving the ball to Cam Newton to run the football or trying to run some kind of quarterback sneak or something along those lines, instead what we witnessed was Ron Rivera and Norv Turner basically call some kind of ghost sweep for Christian McCaffrey. Didn't work out. He gets stopped. Tampa survives. They beat the Carolina Panthers last night 20-14 at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Tampa Bay's 1-1 on the season. Carolina's 0-2 on the season. Most teams who start off 0-2 don't make the playoffs. And obviously, Ron Rivera and the Carolina Panthers are in a world of trouble. Cam Newton spoke after the game, and John, we have that sound from Cam Newton, right? Cam Newton speaking after the game, talking about himself, talking about the loss, talking about his level of culpability, etc. Here is what Cam Newton had to say.
You're not going to hear no type of reasons why tonight didn't go as planned. I have to be better. No matter what physical condition I'm in, no matter what foot, shoulder, I ain't get the job done tonight, man, and it's frustrating. I wish I could say something other than that, but you know that's the facts. And you know I'm an extremely brutally honest person, you know, with people, and I'm extremely brutally honest with myself. And it's time for me to look myself in the mirror and, you know, do some real soul searching because I had opportunities tonight and I didn't get it done.
I respect the hell out of Cam Newton for voicing his sentiments about himself the way that he did. That's a man there. That's a young man there. But let me be very clear. Everybody's alarmed by what they're seeing from Cam, and they're talking about he must be injured, must be a foot, but I don't want to hear all of that. And I'm going to tell you why I don't want to hear all of that. Cam Newton when healthy, is a superstar athlete. Cam Newton, when healthy, is a superstar NFL player. He has never been a superstar quarterback. Never. Now, I'm going to say this because I want everybody to understand where I'm coming from. Accuracy, throwing the football, is the number one quality I am looking for from a quarterback. You got people that's going to sit up there and say, it's about moving the chains, Stephen A. It don't matter how you do it. Damn it, Stephen A. It's about scoring. It's about putting points up on the board. It don't matter how you do it. Well, guess what? Then why ain't Tim Tebow still a quarterback in the National Football League? Why is it that when Lamar Jackson lost to the Los Angeles Chargers in the divisional playoff game last year, we all had a conniption when he only completed three passes for 25 yards through the first 3 quarters and 2 minutes of a playoff game? Ladies and gentlemen, throwing the football is the number one requirement of a damn quarterback. I'm sick and tired of people acting like they don't know that. I don't care. Listen, I understand if you can run the football, that makes you a dual threat. Michael Vick was special. Lamar Jackson is special. I got that. I got it. I understand there are other components to the quarterback position. Your intellect, your football IQ, your ability to read defenses, to anticipate, to see what's coming. I always am popular for pointing out how my man, Hugh Douglas, who used to play for the Philadelphia Eagles, who used to work here at ESPN, now doing a great job in Atlanta on radio last time I checked, that Hugh Douglas once told me a story about how disheartened he was because he was going up against the Miami Dolphins and they went up to the line of scrimmage and Dan Marino looked over the line of scrimmage and literally before he called the play, told his team every single thing everybody was trying to do before he called the snap. He knew everything. He talked about the brilliance of Dan Marino. And they were like how demoralizing it was because you're trying to engage in trickery. And you're trying to outsmart people, not just outmuscle them, not just outskill them, but outsmart them. And nobody was outsmarting Dan Marino. We raved and raved and raved about the quick release and the strong arm and the ability to make throws from anywhere. And how he couldn't run faster than a snail, for crying out loud. He was clearly a pocket passer. So what made him so great? His ability to to throw the football, and his ability to read defenses while doing so. Ladies and gentlemen, throwing the damn football matters at the quarterback spot. You can go to George Blanket, you can go to Johnny Unitas. You could go to Roger Staubach and Terry Bradshaw. You could go to Joe Montana and Steve Young. Or Troy Aikman. You could go to Peyton Manning, you could Tom Brady. You could go back to Warren Moon. I don't give a damn who it is. If you're playing the quarterback position, you gotta be able to throw the football. There's a reason Randall Cunningham ain't in the Hall of Fame. And I'm not saying he couldn't throw, but not like those guys. He was no John Elway. He was no Brett Favre. All of these quarterbacks that I'm mentioning, you got to be able to throw the football. And when have we ever said Cam Newton is an exceptional thrower of the football? I mean no disrespect. I'm fond of Cam. As a person as well as a player. I don't like that damn outfit he had on, and I certainly don't like that ridiculous hairdo. Hell no. But I respect the hell out of him. And I root for him all the time. You can't be a brother and don't root for Cam Newton. That's just impossible to me. But we got to call it like we see it. He has never, ever been accused of being an elite thrower of the football. The time has come for us to call it like it is. Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, came into the league, first year in the league, threw for over 4,000 yards. Ladies and gentlemen, he completed 60% of his passes. He spent the next 7 years pretty much not touching that stat. The next 7 years. This Cam Newton we talking about here. If we're going to be real, let's be real about it. It's got to stop. This love affair with people where we just going to ignore facts, pimp slapping us in the face. Cam Newton, as a player, his first 7 years in the league, 60, 57.7, 61.7, 58.5, 59.8, 52.9, 59.9. Those were his completion percentages throughout his years as a National Football League quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Now, granted, Kelvin Benjamin, Funches, and others, he ain't exactly have the most elite dudes to throw the football to. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I'm saying exercise the eye test. We know throwers when we see him. He's never been one of them. Last year, 67.9%, best year ever completing the football in the 14 games that he played, even though he was never the same after getting hurt by Pittsburgh and T.J. Watt. When it got blown out 52 to like 21 or something in November. Bottom line is, no matter which way you slice it, when you look at Cam Newton, the reality is inescapable. He's not a great thrower. And now that his health has been compromised to the point where he can't run with the football with the degree of regularity that he once did, the reality is that he's no longer the same. Ladies and gentlemen, we used to talk about Cam Newton as the former league MVP in 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, he's not even a top quarterback in his own division. That would be Drew Brees and Matt Ryan. Last night, Jameis Winston, loser of 12 consecutive road games. That Jameis Winston, a turnover waiting to happen. That Jameis Winston, who nobody believes is going to be the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come next season. That Jameis Winston outplayed Cam Newton. Are we going to act like we don't know? We're going to act like we don't know. Cam Newton connected on a 44-yard pass play to one of his receivers last night. I got news for you. That ball was underthrown. I believe it was to Samuels. That ball was underthrown. I'm here to tell you something right now. Should have been a touchdown. He had the receiver beat. He had the cornerback beat. Chris Samuels had him beat. What happened? Cam Newton underthrew it. Overthrew Olsen, overthrew McCaffrey, overthrew Moore. Look, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. Got to show and prove, man. Cam Newton is not what he used to be. And even with what he used to be, he was never an elite thrower, an elite athlete, an elite talent, an elite player, but not an elite thrower. And in today's NFL, when you play in that quarterback position, you better know how to run like hell if you ain't an elite thrower. You got cats that are going to test him because they don't believe. They believe either his health is questionable where he won't be able to get the throws to you, or even if it was, they challenge his accuracy. They just do. Talk about Carolina and their future prospects. First of all, we all know Tampa ain't going to the playoffs, but let's look at Carolina for a second. You think they're going to be better than New Orleans? Hell no. You think they're going to be better than Atlanta? We'll see. I don't know what the hell happened to Atlanta last week. You got Matt Ryan. You got Devontae Freeman back. You got Sanu and Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley as your wideouts. What the hell is wrong with their offense scoring only 12 points against Minnesota? Beats me. But do I expect that to continue? No, I do not. So you got Atlanta in your own division with New Orleans. Let's go to the NFC. They better than Seattle? They better than the LA Rams? How about Minnesota, Chicago, or Green Bay? How about Dallas or Philadelphia? Carolina ain't going no damn playoffs. And I feel bad for them. Kuechly, monster game, 17 tackles last night, including that safety. I got it. Their defense, led by Ron Rivera, they always have a respectable defense. But when you look at Carolina right now, don't expect much from them. I'm telling you that right now. You're wasting your time. Because their offensive personnel ain't good enough, and Cam Newton ain't either. Boy, I hope I'm wrong, but I know what I'm seeing. And it's not that impressive. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Somebody else making news is a former New York Giant who now plays for the Cleveland Browns. And his name is Odell Beckham Jr. Going into their Monday night football game against the New York Jets, Odell Beckham Jr. has concerns. Is it about Baker Mayfield? No. Is it about how putrid their offense looked, particularly in the fourth quarter against the Tennessee Titans last week? No. Is it about the fact that he may not have gotten enough reps with Baker Mayfield, that's something that he needs to be developing, that Baker Mayfield should be the one he's catching footballs from as opposed to Colin Kaepernick? Yes. Could be. But that's not what Odell Beckham Jr. is complaining about. He's complaining about Greg Williams, former defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, an interim head coach who's now the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets, who was the defensive coordinator in New Orleans years ago when he got in trouble for Bountygate and got suspended for an entire year from the National Football League because of the Bountygate that they exercised against the likes of Brett Favre. Well, that's who Odell Beckham Jr. is concerned about. And he spoke on this. John, we've got that sound? Because he spoke about this. And here's what Odell Beckham Jr. had to say about New York Jets defensive coordinator Greg Williams teaching cheap shots and dirty hits when it comes to going against them. Listen up.
The only thing I'm buying is, probably just got to watch out for the cheap shots and the dirty hits and all the things that he likes to teach. That's pretty much all we got to watch out for. Other than that, I expect the same too high safety. I don't expect much man-to-man. I don't expect none of that. I had people who were here when he was here telling us, if you get a chance, take a shot at him. If you can, hurt him. I guarantee he's going to leave the game hurt and stuff like that. And it's fine. It's football in a sense, but, we're all men out there, so there's no need for doing any of that kind of stuff.
Let me tell you what I've heard about Greg Williams. Technically speaking, he's guilty, but not really. Greg Williams is popular for telling his players he wants someone hurt. Hurt folks. Go ahead and do it. He encourages them. Put a hat on them. He never talked money in the eyes of a lot of people and stuff like that. But he most certainly have told players to harm and potentially injure an opposing player. Here's my problem. In the sport of football, I don't know too many people that go out there on the defensive side of the ball without the intent to actually harm. They don't want to hit you and they don't want you to feel it. Oh, they want to pulverize you. And to me, as long as it doesn't involve a legal hit and an illegal hit, the fact that a defensive coordinator wants you to cave somebody's chest in or hit them legally and knock them unconscious or something, I really don't have a problem with it. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't have a problem with it. Now, I will say this. If you're encouraging guys to be hit low, where limbs are separated from its appropriate places and stuff like that, yeah, that's problematic. I'll give Odell Beckham Jr. that. And I've been told that Greg Williams will say something like that. That's not good. But here's my whole deal. Greg Williams, according to Jonathan Vilma, who was on First Take with me in this morning, my show on ESPN every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to noon with Max Kellerman and Molly Karam, according to Jonathan Vilma, who played for Greg Williams for 3 years in New Orleans, he said, Greg Williams has a degree in psychology. He's a master at messing with the mind. And if you're Odell Beckham Jr. and you go out publicly and you declare what you are worried about, that's not good for you. Because now Greg Williams knows, I got you. You ain't trying to run across the middle. You ain't trying to run some of these routes. I'm inside your head. You're a bit worried about me. That's exactly how I want you. And it's true. So I just don't know how wise it was for for Odell Beckham Jr. to say what he said. What about y'all? 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. On a separate note, I wanted to get into a personal matter real quickly involving Colin Kaepernick. I wanted to inform my audience of something that happened yesterday. So a week from today, First Take will be live from Delaware State University, 76ers Fieldhouse to be exact, because I am the ambassador for HBCU Week. It was something that was started at Delaware State about 3 years ago. Co-founders Earl Cooper and Ashley Christopher, they both work for the mayor's office, Mayor Persecki there in Wilmington, Delaware. Wonderful man, by the way. Governor John Carney showed up a few months ago to recognize the importance of the event. Congressional figures, both U.S. senators showed up in attendance from Delaware as well. This is a big, big deal, and they've asked me to be the ambassador, which I'm honored to be. I'm the ambassador for HBCU Week, and it's an effort being put forth by myself and my team, myself, Rashawn McDonald, my business manager, and others. We want to be a part of this. We're honored to be a part of it. Nevertheless, HBCU Week culminates next Friday and Saturday, Battle of the Bands, HBCU bands next Saturday as well. But we'll be there. First Take will be there next Friday. And because we'll be there next Friday and I'm the ambassador for the event, First Take is having our show there. And as a result, I've been around doing interviews, Breakfast Club, and various other shows promoting my participation with that event next week. And while I was at WBLS in New York City doing an interview, thereafter, a gentleman was waiting for me, and apparently he's friends and a colleague of Nessa Diab. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. She is the girlfriend of Colin Kaepernick. And he took and expressed his frustration and dismay over things they felt I have said about Colin Kaepernick. And she wanted to talk to me as well. First things first, I cannot express how classy all of them were. There was no disrespect whatsoever. They took offense to some things they felt I felt and things that I have said, and they wanted to address me about it. I have no issues with it. When you sit in this chair, can't be chirping and talking, and then people want to talk to you and you run. I don't do that. Especially she has every right to, because she's one of the people that have tweeted a few things in support of her man on several occasions. And obviously because of that, she's personally made news, which means people like myself and others have talked about her. So she has every right to approach me and express her feelings, which she did. And challenged me on a couple of things that she thought I was inaccurate about. Fair enough. Once again, nothing but extreme class and professionalism on her part and the part of her team. Can't thank them enough. They did nothing wrong. Upon having this conversation, she wanted two things to get out because it's important to her that the truth is out there. Things that I said in terms of him having a job offer from Miami, Baltimore, Seattle, and Denver, she says was completely inaccurate. They never offered Colin Kaepernick a job. In her opinion, they never were going to offer him a job. She wanted that put out there. I let her know. I didn't say that. I said the NFL and the NFL Players Association told me those things. Wasn't me saying it. It was information that both entities disseminated to an abundance of us in the media, including myself. Neither here nor there. The other point she wanted to get out was that Colin Kaepernick and his settlement does not prohibit him from being back in the NFL. And don't think for one second that he still doesn't want to be in the NFL. He's working hard every day, trying to make it happen. He wants a job. He's ready to play if somebody picks up the phone and calls him. Period. She wanted to make sure that was stated. I'm doing that right now. Colin Kaepernick, settlement with the National Football League, remember the grievance he filed? He did not capitulate that he doesn't want to be in the NFL anymore. He's not going to try to be in the NFL anymore. He wants to be in the NFL. He's still working out every day. He's in tip-top shape. He's ready to go if you gave him the call right now. She wanted to make that very clear. So now that that information is out there, I just wanted everybody to know. I also wanted everybody to know that I extended an invitation to her, to Colin Kaepernick, and Eric Reed. If they want to together, I'll give them the entire 2 hours on First Take. Name the day and time. Name the day, and it's yours. You can have it. Other than next Friday when I got to do HBCU week at Delaware State, of course. I let them know that. So if they want to make the case that misinformation and things of that nature are being disseminated, they can squash it all. They have an open invitation to come on First Take with yours truly, live for the entire 2 hours. I'll give it to them. Got the okay from the bosses. What they do with that invitation is their business. But I want to say thank you to Miss Nessa Diab for expressing herself to me, for reaching out to me the way that she did, and for her and her entire team showing nothing but class, because a lot of times when she has said things, people have challenged how she's elected to express herself and things of that nature. That was the first time I ever met her. I can only tell you my personal experience with her is that she was class all the way, and so was her entire team. And I appreciate her taking the time to let me know where she stood and how she felt. And I thank her for it. And I hope her and Colin Kaepernick